It's working. Starting fixed it. I don't know why. Silly. Silly. Because it was working, and then all I did was switch HDMI cables. So weird. OBS sucks. Stupid program. Or capture card? Well, good news. I'm buying a new one. I'm gonna take all my Christmas money, and I'm gonna go bam and throw this one in the garbage. In the friggin' garbage. I will give you my old one. You don't want it though. Trust me. You might think you want it, but you don't. Anyway, we shook that grate for a while, but as they expected, it did not move.
Figures.
Those elevators over there?
No way to know if they're working or not from here.
Oh, there's a door just to the left of this grate.
Unfortunately, however, it was locked and refused to open.
Sounds like it's locked.
Yep.
Junpei took a moment to examine the left side of the room.
Stairs leading down.
They're blocked by the grate, though.
But this here seems accessible.
So we can open it?
Nah, I think it's locked too. Look.
In the center of the door was a small keyhole. Next to the keyhole, a small symbol had been carved into the metal.
What's this mark? The female symbol.
He wasn't quite sure what to make of it. Snake, naturally, was somewhat more sure.
Ah, the Venus symbol, I imagine. Do you recall the similar symbols near the large central stairway? They reference many of the solar bodies.
Oh, that's right. The Sun, Saturn, and Earth.
So, as you can see, that one is likely
not the woman symbol, but a Venus symbol.
So I assume.
You're blind, Snake. You can't even tell. Gee.
Hold on. Where's 7?
While they had been discussing the symbols, Junpei now realized 7 had slipped away. His absence now felt. Snake and Junpei turned to look for their missing
there
companion.
He is, down that hallway.
7 had left them to head down the hallway, extending to the right of the stairs.
This way, Snake. Follow me.
Junpei grabbed Snake to lead him in the right direction, and they both headed after 7. Junpei, you're so considerate. Such a good person. Before long, the three of them stood in front of a door.
I wonder if this door will...
Is volume good, by the way, for the game? It's a little weird balancing game with, like, dialogue, especially heavy dialogue. I don't want it to be super overbearing, but I want you to still be able to hear it. It was a French door.
How about that? It opens.
Fine, good. Junpei tested the door and realized that, unlike so many others that they'd encountered, it was unlocked. Almost as though he was afraid it would suddenly lock itself, Junpei threw the door open. Resident Evil 7 asked, "Opening door, dude." He stepped inside.
Oh, wow.
It took only a moment for Junpei to take in his new surroundings.
Is this some kind of casino?
Sure looks like one.
Before Junpei could comment further, a noise from behind made him turn around. Snake was shaking the door they'd just come through.
Well, this is troubling.
It's locked. As 7 and Junpei watched, he threw up his hands in frustration and then kicked the door for good measure.
It seems we are once again locked in.
There was no reason to panic, however.
Even if that door was open, it's not like we had anywhere to go that way.
So we must find another exit then.
Ooh, more escape rooms.
All right, guys, let's split up and search this room. Come on, no dawdling. Let's go. Quickly now.
Spurred to action by 7's words, Junpei and Snake began to examine the room. Seek a way out. Tina. Okay. Card 5. 5 of spades. Now this is where things get interesting. Hey Junpei, I just found this on the shelf. A playing card. Card 4. 4 of spades. We're gonna have to come up with a whole deck. Looks like a card. Playing card. Card 7. That Hotline Miami for a second? Yes. Well, look at that. Someone left a bottle of booze here. Don't mind if I do. Glug, glug, glug. Ah. Oh, that hits the spot. Feels like my throat's burning. Damn, he really drank it. We don't even know how long it's been there. What a balla. That's a lot of expensive glasses. Even cheap drinks taste great out of glasses like these. Counter's pretty well polished. Nope. I don't remember how to... Oh, okay. Weird looking thing floating in there. And on top of the fireplace. Card 6. Wonder if it'll let me combine... Oh. Wait, when those two lights turned on, I heard something from the bottom of the fireplace. What was that? I heard something down there. Coin bag. There's a whole bunch of coins stuffed into this Valor bag. Look at these coins. Perhaps these coins will allow us to convince the machines to move. Interesting. Check out that stained glass. How beautiful. What? Huh? Stained glass is colored pieces of glass, placed together in a frame. As I've said many times before, I need only touch it to know. I can at least discern the basic structure. He's lying. He can see. Card 3. Oh, this place is like super amazing. What's this place for? Probably for playing Backart? It looks a little off though. Yeah, look at the middle of the table. Something mounted on it, see? Suddenly, Seven began to speak.
Ah, Baccarat.
Baccarat.
Played Junpei?
Junpei shook his head. He barely even heard the game.
No, never.
Alright then, how about I explain the rules to you a bit?
God, this is gonna be important, isn't it?
Baccarat is kind of an unusual game. You've got the banker and the player. The whole point is that you guess which one's gonna win. And whether the banker or the player wins, it all depends on their hands. The way each hand works is different from other games too. You see, you take the number from the ones place after you add up the value of all your cards. Whoever gets the number closest to 9 wins. If your number is smaller than your opponent's, you lose. And that's it. That's the explanation. Got it? Well, actually, there's a lot more to it. Strategy, details, that sort of stuff. But what I just told you sums up the core of the game pretty well. The single digit of the sum of all the cards you have. The strongest hand is a 9. And the weakest hand is a 0. You just ignore the number in the 10 spot. Do you get it?
Yeah.
He hadn't been asking for it, but Seven's exclamation, rushed though it had been, was helpful.
Well, maybe half of it. Enough. I got a chance at winning the game if I played now.
However, we have no way of knowing if the puzzle in the Baccarat table makes use of those rules, and if it does, in what manner.
Then I guess we try everything.
Feeling more confident, if only slightly, Junpei approached the Baccarat table. Oh, okay. I have 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3. So is 8 part of my hand? And then I place 3 cards? Hey 7, are we really supposed to play Baccarat? The Baccarat table. What the hell else would we do? Now stop worrying about it. It's real simple. What's the opponent's hand? Well, there's an 8 in that glass case. Alright, then that's your opponent's number. If that's the case, what 3 cards do we need to get that number? 3 cards? There are a couple of indentations with white lines around them, right? Those means we gotta put down 3 cards. So, place 3 cards here and defeat the opponent's 8. That's what I gotta do, I guess. So we gotta get a 9. Someone's telling me those aren't the only rules. Alright, let's give it a shot. Before I start, I better make sure I've got the rules straight. 3 empty indentations, I just gotta pick a card and play it. Figure if I put them in the right spot, something ought to happen. Alright, let's give this a try. So, let's think about this. We need something that's... After we add up 3 cards, it'll add up to... The one spot will add up to 9. So ideally, we'd get a 19. So 7 plus 6 is 13. That's 18. That doesn't help. That's the best we're gonna get. We can't get... We can get a 9 from the 5 and 4, but that doesn't help either. If we match him, then... Alright, if I just put down these 3 cards... Yes, open for me. Great, you did it, Junpei. Did I add that wrong? That's definitely 8... Oh, then you add... No. No, you don't. That'd be just 18. I don't get it. Let's grab it. Let's take this card. Okay. The 8 of spades. 3 cards are put down and stuck to the table. They won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Got the 8 card. Don't need to hang around here anymore. Well, okay. I really don't understand how I won that. Ace is 1. It wasn't the digital root, though. That's what I figured. The digital root of 18 is 9, yeah. But the way that 7 was explaining it wasn't quite the same. Oh, so yeah, we'd put 8 in here, wouldn't we? Oh yeah, there we go. And then you go, hey, alright, it opened up. Seems we have another device to contend with, yes? 3 slots in this one. What do I have? I only have a 4 and a 3. 4 and 3 is 7, so if I could find a 2, that'd be lovely. I'm assuming we're gonna have to play one of these games. Probably this one. Heart, spade, and diamond. What do you mean? Symbols on the reels. They're the same as the playing card symbols that I saw over the fireplace. But this is different. Compare. Are the reels the only place where you see the symbols? Huh? Do you think the symbols might be found in other places as well, as part from the reels? I don't even remember what this was. Was it spades, hearts, diamonds? Spades, diamonds, hearts. I'll just coin the coin slot. Come on, you little bastards. I only need one of you. What? There's no way. Oh. I'm done. 777. Yes. And I think you hear something unlocking in there. Impressive, Junpei. It would appear to be unlocked now. There's something akin to a drawer in the bottom part of this machine, yes? That is a pickup drawer for dividend. Probably the lock for the drawer got unlocked. Please open it if you would. Slot machine stand. Oh. Wait. What is it? Something in there? Yeah, a playing card. And a key with the Venus symbol on it. Excellent, Junpei. Now we will be able to open the gate. Then we just need to figure out how to get out of this room. Right, come on, Junpei. Hurry up. And he's off. There was a playing card and a Venus key. Better put the key in my pocket for later. As for the card... Let's see. 3 slots for cards. There's a 9 right below them. That probably means we gotta make a 9 with the 3 cards we put in slots, right? Just like what we did over at the back row table. Alright, let's give it a shot. Open. Alright, so I put all the cards we had left into the slots. What happens now? Yes, I did hear something from the exit. Excellent work, Junpei. Wonderful. Seems the exit is unlocked. Let's go. Alright, let's go. Let's skedaddle, dude. You found it. Feel so accomplished. Junpei and his companions ran out of the casino and into a large open room. A room, in fact, that they had been in once before. There was little to surprise them there. They already knew what their next step had to be.
This way.
The iron gate still stood in place, locked tight, blocking the stairway. And right in the center of it,
The keyhole with the Venus symbol. The Venus key should work here.
wasting no time, he pulled it out and shoved it into the keyhole. He turned it. With the distinctive sound of metal on metal, he felt the lock click
Sounds like
open.
it did. All right, let's get this thing open.
No problem. Let me help with this one.
Junpei grabbed the handle on the left side, and Seven took the handle on the right. On Junpei's signal, they both pushed, and the gate creaked open. Lit.
It sounds as though you have opened it. We should be able to reach C deck now, I imagine.
Snake, are you gonna be all right? I mean, the stairs.
The stairs.
Do not give
Yo,
yourself the
Jeff,
embarrassment of
thanks for the
underestimating
host,
me. I
dude.
would be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards.
What's going on there? Fuck. Dude, I don't have any of those emotes anymore. Frankerface got rid of them. Wait, I should have shit game. What? I do have shit game. It's just not capitalized. Yeah, there you go. I'd be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards.
Good
You
to
a
hear.
baller.
Let's move.
Seven's words, they leapt onto the stairs and jogged quickly down them. In no time at all, they found themselves on the C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
I have to pee and sleep. Goodbye. Alright, have a good night, Jeff. Don't pee yourself.
We should check the next deck down, just in case.
When he reached the water, he called back up to Snake and Seven.
Just what I thought. D-deck is completely underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The surface of the water below them was flat, like a mirror.
I'm just glad the water level hasn't changed much.
Back to the C deck then.
Now, how about we check out what's here?
He began searching around and taking stock of what was on the C deck.
There are 2 elevators over there, which means it's probably the same upstairs.
There's a card reader between them. And another weird mark.
Hey, check it out. It's the symbol for Lotus.
What?
See? It's got the woman symbol, and then it's got the devil horns, right?
Yeah, I see it. No two ways about it. That was a pretty good one, kid.
Seven tousled Junpei's hair in what he likely thought to be a friendly manner. Junpei feared his neck might break, and though it was clear Seven had kept his strength in check. Even though it was clear Seven had kept his strength in check.
Oh, would you watch it, man? Whoa, that hurts. You're gonna break my neck.
What are you talking about? The human body ain't that weak. Maybe this'll toughen you up, huh?
Seven's a
If we were
baller.
looking for a devil, we've got one right here.
Thankfully, Snake interrupted. After Junpei's observation, he'd gone over to examine the card reader.
This is a Mercury symbol. The marks you mistook for horns are a stylized version of the wings and staff of Hermes.
Wings and a staff. Huh. So then, she beats you with the staff until you die and go to heaven. Sounds like Lotus, all right.
Seven shook Junpei's head even more vigorously, and the younger man began to feel as though his brain was being jostled about inside of his skull.
7! Oh, that's too much! Oh, my head!
Junpei's stomach began turning uncomfortably.
Oh, I think I'm gonna puke.
Unless we can activate this device, I doubt the elevator will function.
Good
In
game.
other words, we gotta find a key card with a Mercury symbol on it.
So I would assume.
Let's forget the elevators for right now. How about that hallway to the left?
Whoa, there's a bunch of doors.
There were a great many doors lining both sides of the hallway. They seemed to stretch on forever, and all three men suddenly felt very small.
Ah,
Yo,
shit.
Aaron.
We're not gonna have enough time to check all these, are we?
This is anime as heck.
Maybe we can come back here later. We should check out the other side. Let's head back.
To the right of the stairs, another hallway stretched out, reaching deep in the bowels of the ship.
To the right this time.
No, Aaron, it's not trash. Not Wixweed. After a few moments of moving briskly down the hallway, this is less weeb than Doki Doki Literature Club. They merge into an area roughly the same size and shape as the one at the top of the stairs. Hey, Mistaken is now hosting the stream. With auto host. Thanks, man. On the left side of the room were 4 French doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them up, starting with the closest one there.
Okay, I'm on it.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. Aaron. He gave it a small tug and felt it move. Did your auto host kick in? Yes, when I first started streaming. Back when I was still doing Odyssey. Game Grumps are playing Doki Doki Literature Club, and I'll be honest, it's the first playthrough of theirs I've watched in forever, but they're killing it so far. Aaron obviously kind of knows, like, I think the outcome of the game. But Dan's blissfully oblivious. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
It isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
That's what I thought too, Satellite, and that I went into it with that same mindset. But it actually blew me away. It was a lot better than I was expecting, and probably one of the better experiences I've had in a long time. Like, I felt like how people tell me they felt when they played Nier Automata. But I've never, or Automata, I don't fucking know. But I've never played Nier, so. You have to play it all in one go. I feel like it's a much better experience if you play it all in one go, Aaron. How much is Doki Doki? It's free. You can get it on Steam. If you don't know much about it, like if you haven't been spoiled on it, I would go into it with nothing. Like, don't look up anything on it. It just makes the experience a lot better. Thrilled to have found another unlocked door, he threw it open. Doki Doki Artichoke. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
The fuck? He simply stood and unable to speak. Seven's eyes opened wide and his mouth gaped. After a few long moments, Seven at last managed to speak.
Hey, what is this place? It's so huge and empty.
And empty. A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Satellite, I made the same fucking joke as my stream title when I streamed it. My stream title when I played Doki Doki was the original Super Mario Brothers 2. This series made me feel like how you're describing what going into it with like no knowledge of like what's gonna happen. Well, it's good because I really don't know. I'm trying to think if I know anything about this game. I don't think I do, aside from the fact that there's 9 persons, 9 doors, and 9 hours. But I feel like that might be common now. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on Seven and Junpei. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. I'm drunk so bad now. Alright, Aaron, have a good night. Don't be hungover. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines... Oh, wait, I already read that. They were simple things, like little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
Is this a hospital? The harsh scent in the air is reminiscent of antiseptic solution.
I think so. There are shelves in the center of the room with medicine and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
3 of them were what? Amblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Hey, why is that door between 3 and 7 blank?
Fuck it to the Steve store. I mean, it's free, and it doesn't take very long to go through.
Does
It
that
took
mean anything?
me 5.5 hours. And I think the average play time's about 4 to 6.
No point worrying about it
I
right
also
now.
voiced
Let's see if
everything,
these
so that
will
also
open
adds a lot
first.
of play time.
Yeah, good idea.
I gotta go to the Steve store. The 3 of them threaded their way through the beds toward the back of the room. I'm just saying it's free, so it's worth it. You might as well try it out. Upon reaching them, they proceed to investigate each door in turn, but to no avail. Of course, the numbered doors aren't going to open, you dumbies. I thought we've established
Yep,
this.
locked. Just like I thought.
Are there puzzles in Doki? No. It's a straight visual novel. It's just reading. It's like this segment right now. Like, it's just straight reading the whole time. There's, like, some choices sometimes. Like, how in this game where you pick, like... Has there been any other choices? The choices, like, where you pick... If you want to go through door 4 or 5. It's like that kind of choice. It changes stuff a little bit, but not much. Actually, I guess it has less choice than that. There's choices like that, but not big choices like this game.
Naturally. After all, there are rules to the nonary game, and to
Forgive by
allow these
minimum
doors to
RAM?
open easily would violate those rules.
Probably because Ren'Py is a stupid engine. I know it runs on Ren'Py, so it's like a visual novel engine. It might just be like a safe bet, just so like... I feel like Windows 10 already requires like 4 gigabytes of RAM or something. Maybe it's only 2, I don't know. It's probably just a safe bet, to be honest.
Unless we can authenticate ourselves with the red, the numbered doors will...
Whoa, check this out.
Suddenly, Seven spoke up, interrupting Snake.
Look at the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember the red back at the main staircase? If there wasn't anyone in it, it said vacant on the little screen, remember?
You probably can. Like, looking at the rest of the recommendation, or looking at the rest of the specs, like a 1.8 dual core, like that's really old. And like integrated graphics, you'll probably be fine. It's probably just like, this is just to be safe. This is what I tested it on. This was the lowest the developer could have possibly tested it on. So it's just a safe bet, probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But this one...
There's nothing.
You're probably
Right.
fine, Zach.
You think it's broken?
Only one way
I mean,
to
it's worth a
find out.
try. It's free, so it's not like it matters. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
No.
Nothing. Jinpei and the others put their hands on the panel, but nothing happened. The red refused to change. They tried pulling the lever, and still nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red on door 8 that seemed to be malfunctioning.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
I didn't think all of them would be malfunctioning.
Now
does
it
it
matters.
mean?
Dang.
They've got to be broken. Man, that bastard. I didn't think Zero was the kind of guy who'd screw around with something like this.
Whoa. Zero's been prepared for everything so far, and you're saying he's gonna make a mistake now?
Well, that's the only thing I can think of. This thing ain't working at all.
While Jinpei and Seven talked, Snake busied himself with examining the red. After a time, he lowered his hand and spoke.
It seems as if some of the internal hardware has been removed.
Internal hardware?
That is what I said. Take a look at the underside of this red, if you please.
The bottom?
Junpei obliged and bent over to look at the underside of the device.
Huh, there's a thin slot here. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
The other two reds are the same. Something's been removed from all three of them.
I get it. So the reds aren't working because somebody pulled out their guts.
So I assume.
But why? And who? I mean, it really doesn't make sense.
I have no idea. Why on earth would I know something like that?
Just then, they heard the sound of a door opening.
Oh, what now?
The three of them turned and saw Akane, and oh no, Junpei thought, it's...
June!
She stopped short, surprised to see them, and was very near bowled over by the rest of her companions, who were coming through the door behind her.
Ace! Santa! Clover! And Lone...
Guess everyone's here.
Junpei and Seven were, for a moment, at a loss for words.
What are you guys doing?
Why are you...
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
Ellipses, ellipses. After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. Oh yeah, by the way, the ninth man's dead, Satellite. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another, not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought, the joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. Also, Akane/June is our waifu, so... With that, Junpei finished his own explanation.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
Yo, what's up, Tiberian?
What about
How
that
are you,
big
dude?
hallway? Maybe there's somewhere in there we might be able to go.
No, there's nothing there. The five of us had a quick look. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
You mean all those doors are for hospital rooms?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
It had one of those solar system mark things on it.
It was the Jupiter symbol.
Jupiter.
I wonder what it means.
Region seemed to be the consensus.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
No one, not even Snake, appeared to ready an answer until Seven unexpectedly spoke up.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship.
You just woke up? Dude. I'm going to assume you're in a different time zone because it's 2 in the morning where I live.
Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic? Junpei, don't fucking say what I'm saying at the same time. It makes me seem like a copier. Junpei looked at Seven, shocked both by his knowledge and the apparent identity of their prison. He was not the only one.
What is this gigantic?
Seven nodded to Lotus and began to speak.
The Gigantic. She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. Actually,
True.
the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said
In
to be
Norway? Oh, okay.
They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gordain bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself. Which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
What's this game? It's called 999, 9 hours, 9 I don't know what order it goes in. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. It's basically a puzzle game where we've got stuck in a ship and we have to escape and figure out what the hell's going on. Is a Gigantic a thing? Like, is this real? Titanic sister ship Gigantic. No shit. I didn't know this was a thing.
But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
Better than anything you got, Lotus.
No,
Shut up.
I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth. Lotus sighed and shook her
I
head.
guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
What a dip fuck. Yeah, that sums it up. Then, almost as if to save Seven from further embarrassment. Oh shit. What hour are we on? Like 5? Or 4? 3, I think that
It
was.
sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Jinpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. Huh, 12.
So it's been 3 hours, yeah. Because I think we started at 9.
It's midnight. Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Yeah.
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room,
They've been examining the room as they talked.
but we haven't found...
Yeah, I didn't know the Titanic had sister ships, let alone 2 of them. I thought the Titanic was its own beast.
Right.
That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
Uh-huh.
That huge hallway.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Well, you already checked some of them out before you came here, right?
We each checked a single room, so 5 rooms in total.
All right then, that's 5 rooms we don't have to search. We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
Lotus did not seem excited by the prospect. Seven fidgeted nervously before responding.
Maybe?
After some discussion, the 8 of them decided which rooms to begin with and what order they would go. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. What does that even
All right,
mean?
so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes.
They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did,
All
they would
meet
meet
up
back
when
in
the
the...
clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds.
Yeah, sounds straightforward enough.
If, during the search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others.
I'll shout if I find any of
Front
the
to back.
components we need.
Okay, I didn't know aft meant back. I assumed foreman. Wasn't sure about aft.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
This strategy failed. They'd return to discuss their options later.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right.
Then let's do this.
The details decided they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However... Did we fail? I'm going to say no. From far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
Hopefully somebody found something. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door numbered 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8.
What are they doing over there?
Had one of them found the missing piece?
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Jumpy!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through to the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately he knew who she had meant.
Vacant?
Junpei
Come on,
sighed.
guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well,
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths
What
shut.
the hell? What is up with you guys?
They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
What? Let me see.
Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to be sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal. This wasn't in the Titanic.
You're right.
Nope.
It's in there. What about the other two?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
Junpei quickly examined the other 2 boxes.
It's just as you said.
Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others.
Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
Correct.
None.
Ace and June nodded silently, but they both talked. That wasn't silent. Seven raised his hands as to say, "Not me," and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing.
Huh. Wait a minute.
That was when he noticed.
Where's Snake?
Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's...
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
Suddenly, she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible!
Clover started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him!
The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone.
Well, that didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No! We're not leaving 2 people behind! We should go look for them!
Oh, man. This ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up.
Let's split up.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Soon only 2 of them were left. Those 2 were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others.
Alright, we should go too.
Yes, let's go! But where should we start?
Let's see. How about the casino on B deck?
Okay, let's go, Junpei.
I didn't realize there was going to be a choice. They took off up the stairs at a run. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1.
5 plus 6 plus 8 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals
But
1.
there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26.
Having more than narrating text on scene seems redundant? Not really. It's sometimes there's been some like text that adds to that has added stuff that like wasn't explained otherwise. I remember during kind of like the prologue, not the prologue section, but when we were in this central deck, there was something that they started talking about that I felt came out of nowhere but was explained in the narrating or in the narrator text.
The digital root of 26.
Not that wasn't in the dialogue. And the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door.
Wait a minute.
But
What about the other 4? Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why don't you add them up?
that was simple enough.
1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Fortnite, for God's sakes.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital root for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said, nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine.
Wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail.
Yes, what she said was true, but how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him.
Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that? That's just...
Lotus's forehead furrowed.
You think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about.
Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish, but he told himself pessimism would get him nowhere.
Well, regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
All right. Where should we go next? Let's go take a look at the first-class cabin. It's really close.
They turned around and took off down the hallway to the left. Outside of the first-class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. Junpei Ju.
Are you all right?
He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
He could think of no words to say that it didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to.
Alone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Hmm?
I said leave me alone!
Suddenly, she was
You're
screaming.
so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then
All right. Let's go, June.
Holy shit, nothing is happening properly. Everything is horrible and everyone hates everyone. As soon as they did, Junpei glanced back over her shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
He did his best to push away the misery and depression and force a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
And then they all died. The end. We were just at the casino, weren't we? No, we
How
weren't.
about the casino?
Let's go take a look.
They turned and head off down the hallway to the right of the jog. Wasn't that where we just fucking were?
There's no one here. Let's try somewhere else.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Let's go back.
Why did it let me go
downstairs
back?
And check out that hallway with all the doors.
Weird. Together they ran down the stairs.
Oh, it's Ace.
Ahead of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted
Hey,
Ace.
Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do?
Let's go.
With Jun in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Right.
Jun's face looked kind of
By
enraptured.
the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seemed somehow odd to Junpei.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it?
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he
At any
spoke.
rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jump.
With Jun's urging, they left. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later.
Snake is
Like
a
Ace
snake.
said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Snake is David. Junpei did his best to clear
All
his
right.
mind.
Where should we go next? Let's go check out the...
Okay.
We're just fucking going in
No one's
circles.
here. Maybe, but where? How about the casino?
Let's go take...
I think we're just going back and we're just going in fucking circles.
Let's try some... Hey, why don't we go back to...
Sure. Let's go.
Together they ran down the stairs.
Hey, wait. That's...
On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and Jun noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door. Junpei paused. Junpei do. I feel like talking to them turned out poorly every single time.
What are you doing?
Junpei and Jun walked up to Santa.
Can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there...
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
Santa's eye narrowed as he looked at Jun. She shook her
I
head.
don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for?
Well, it seems like it would have to be Snake, wouldn't it? Maybe he got back here before any of us. He found the parts somewhere, put them back, and then went through one of the numbered doors.
No, it's not possible. You have to authenticate with at least 3 people, or the red won't open the door. There's no way a single person could get through there by themselves.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It was a stupid mistake, and Junpei knew it. Unless he went through the door, and then he's dead now. How had he made such a foolish miscalculation, and how had Santa noticed it so quickly? Perhaps he just wasn't as clever as he used to be. Junpei shook his head sadly.
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah.
But why?
No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. First, he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
If you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
Dude, I can't believe June's gonna stab me in the back. That depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
That's that, I guess.
Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? Yeah, we've looked everywhere, bruh. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
We can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point in wasting any more time. The others seemed to have similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Sorry, I'm back. And so did argument. Yeah, I'm done. Bye. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice?
The fuck?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. Is she right, though? Who do we have left? This choice probably doesn't fucking matter. But I want to think about this, mister. Who do we have left? We have Ace, so we have 1. We do not have 2, so we have everyone except for 2 and 9. Yeah. It wasn't pleasant, but she was right. Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. If it was anywhere where the numbers worked out. If one group was 4, the other group would always have a digital route that didn't match a door. When Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
I wasn't gonna actually figure that out.
We do.
Too many combinations.
Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
It's gonna be Clover.
No, that's too cruel.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you, that's impossible. Wait.
Whoa, calm down, you two.
Santa stepped between Lotus and June.
Look, what Lotus is trying to say is you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed...
Y'all dead anyway. Yes, yeah.
What do you think?
No, that's terrible.
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What
Wow.
about you, Santa?
Let's sacrifice Lotus. She's a bitch.
Me? Well, I agree.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you. We don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Huh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, Then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd even heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
Clover slowly lifted
Let's
her
go
face.
look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice one person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Okay.
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun around and walked towards Junpei.
Now, vote to.
That won't be necessary.
Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even
I
care.
will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
But I want Lotus to stay.
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them.
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you. Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time.
Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue
We've
no
only
longer.
got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Ace's voice was dignified and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no
You
rebuttal.
see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lips so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Sanda stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude was different from others. She's gonna be smug.
Good. Just kind offer then.
I want her to die. She needs to die. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
Like, she hasn't done a single redeemable thing this entire game. From the moment you see her, she's just rude. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of their ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
What are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa?
I have to find my brother.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran towards Ace. He had slumped down to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something!
She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
His body's clearly not folded or in half. He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
What the fuck? It was a syringe in a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to its sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Soparil Beta. Soparil Beta?
Soparil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier while we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Satanic and bad for kids.
Why did
Oh my
you do
god.
this?
Get rid of it. We can't look at this as a Christian stream.
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am. Very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he had done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He had injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace.
Is there something you want to
Memes check.
I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
You feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told him he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing.
Let's get him up on a bed.
He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. The fact that Junpei can lift up Ace off of the floor and onto a bed by himself shows how fucking ripped Junpei is. Like, dude, he's a bodybuilder. Like, come on, guys. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste. Right?
Like
He was
you
drugged
mean
up,
that.
Bludarian.
You say something?
No, nothing.
Felt wrong, but oh shit. Then suddenly Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
I keep accidentally skipping voice.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hands in the cookie door.
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
Shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off. No Mario?
Right, who's next?
You mean not playing Mario? Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei.
Okay. Which door do you want?
Last. Junpei's mind was already made up. No, it's not, guys! Yo, Core, what's up, dude? I actually forgot I modded you. But I totally remember modding you because I was gonna play this game. I don't want to go with Lotus. I want to go with 7. He's my bro.
I think I'm gonna go with door 7.
Okay. 7 it is.
Yeah.
All right, then. That means June's got to go through 8.
What? Why?
What?
Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to
The 6
explain.
of us are going to keep going without leaving anyone behind?
Not playing Mario today? Oh, I was, but I was doing it was pissing me off. I was doing really, really badly. So I just switched to this because it just wasn't working
There are
out.
only 3 ways we can do it. Have 3,
Plan A.
5, and 8 go through 7, and 4, 6, and 7 go through 8. 4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8. Or 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8. no other combinations. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now?
The Snanta finished. June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up at the corners
Oh
of her
no,
eyes.
you're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. They literally haven't been through each other this entire time. I've been screwing myself out of June time, dude. But if he knew they were going to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the six of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed and steeled his resolve and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other.
Haha, Junpei, why'd you say that? Now you're never gonna see each other again. God damn it. He's murdering the competition. Weren't you racing with Jeff?
We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
He didn't sound very hopeful. It was Seven that interjected.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they
Can't believe
don't,
Cor-
neither team can get through door 9.
I can't believe Core actually murdered Jeff. Like, that's unbelievable.
In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on his shoulder.
It's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible look.
Yes.
Nod. Fuck.
Promise?
The voice is barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 8 and Clover can take 7. Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
All right, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Clover, 7, and Junpei walked toward door 7. Santa, Lotus, and June headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. 7 took a deep breath.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
It's open.
A narrow hallway stretched out before them. 7 and Clover leapt through the door.
Let's do this!
Hurry!
The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. Detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he went to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his right, towards door 8. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked toward him. Their eyes met. They nodded.
June.
Jumpy.
The farewell took almost 1.5 seconds. Exactly, guys. Exactly 1.5 seconds.
What the hell are you doing, Junpei?
Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. The bracelet gave a cold electronic beat.
Only 81 seconds left! No time to waste, guys! Let's get moving!
7 led the way down the hallway. Junpei and Clover followed him as fast as they could. After what seemed like far more than 81 seconds, they reached the end of the hall.
Look! The door on the left! I can see the dead!
There was no time to rest or catch their breath. It has nothing on it, dude. All 3 slammed their heads in quick succession over the scanner panel on the dead. Okay, it still works. It doesn't say anything on it. Good. Still trying to catch his breath, 7 leaned heavily against the wall.
It stopped. It stopped.
His smile seemed forced and ran a little
This is
crooked.
the second time we've gone through one of these numbered doors, but
Also, Satellite, a part I forgot to mention is that we all have tiny bombs inside of us. They're in our digestive system, and if we don't scan the things after going through a door, the bombs that are inside of us explode. Because that makes sense.
Whew. You never really get used to it.
He stood up straight, no longer out of breath, and wiped some of the sweat from his head and neck. Tiny bombs. Clover smirked at him.
I would have thought a guy your size would have bigger balls than that.
What? What the hell did you just say? Say it again! I dare you!
You?
You little... You wanna die?
I'd like to see you try.
You fucking brat! Alright, let's go!
Hey, calm down, guys. This isn't the time for this. It's not gonna do us any good.
Oh boy, I picked a good group to go with, guys. Shit. Junpei sighed. Sometimes he wondered if the doors and the puzzles were really the greatest challenge they face. Am I pronouncing it Junpei? Am I really? Fuck!
Wait here for a minute, alright?
Junpei, it's Junpei, not Junpei. Oh, you meant Jun? Wait, how the fuck is it pronounced? God damn it! I thought it was Junpei.
This door.
I thought that's how Jun was saying it.
There's a short hallway on the left here, and an iron wall. I doubt I can get through it.
At last he gave up and returned to Seven, who was tapping lightly on the wooden door.
This door's the only option we've got, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Hey, something's written on the door, on that iron plate.
It says operating room. If this thing's telling the truth, there could be body parts inside here.
Well, this is probably not going to be pleasant.
Something about it made Junpei feel nervous.
Well, there's no point to standing around. Might as well go in and see what's waiting for us.
Now you're like making me self-conscious about my pronunciation. The creak at the hinge sounded like the groan of an old woman.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
Chill snaked its way down Junpei's spine.
Let's just go.
Quickly he gathered what courage he could and took the first step into the room. Seven followed, with Clover right behind him.
Huh?
Part of the room just past the doors was obscured by a screen.
What the hell is this?
Why don't we take a look?
Hey, Clover!
Clover's curiosity got the better of her as she darted past Junpei to peer across the screen. Seven, goddammit, Core. Her scream nearly blew out Junpei's eardrums.
Clover!
He and Seven ran toward Clover to see what had frightened her.
What's wrong?
They ran to the screen and the cause of her outburst was immediately clear.
What the hell is this?
Just a mannequin, guys.
Is this a corpse?
It's a mannequin, you dummies! It was something that looked kind of like a human lying across some sort of bed. No, not a bed. An operating table. The table sat in a rusty steel lift, and a cluster of bright operating lights shone down from the ceiling.
We should probably take a closer look.
Yeah.
Slowly, they approached. It's a mannequin! Oh my gosh, you guys! As they got closer to the body, it became clear that it wasn't a body at all.
What the hell? That's just a huge doll or something.
Clover did not look terribly comforted. Slowly, she approached the operating table and looked as intently as possible from as far away as possible at the thing. Junpei could see her relax.
You're right. It's only a doll. Man, it really scared me.
She heaved a great sigh of relief and wiped a few drops of sweat from her forehead. Seven smirked.
Well, I guess it would have been weird if you actually had any balls.
Shut it! Don't you start with me, fatty.
Oh, what's this? You want a piece of me, short stuff?
Yeah, bring it on, you whale!
Hey, guys, not again, okay? Seriously, knock it off.
Where's the time travel mechanic? Can I travel back in time and choose a different door? Should have gone through door 3. God damn it.
Gee, anyway, it looks like he's got something the two of you could stand to have a little more of. I'm talking about a heart.
Huh? Oh, this? You mean on his chest?
Yeah.
It was set a little higher than a normal human body, but from the shape of the organ, there could be no doubt that it was a heart.
Why would there be a heart in a doll?
I don't think it's a doll.
You think maybe it's like a medical mannequin or something?
Or maybe it's got more personal uses?
Seven's grin was more than a little perverted. Clover glared at him.
Anyway, how about we take a look around this place? Let's go.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Is it time to seek a way out? Oh yeah, it is, boy. Junpei's face doesn't show up there anymore. That's weird. It showed up the first time. The first couple times, I think. But now it's not. The past 2 times it didn't. Those dolls are kind of creepy, you know. Hey, it says something here. John? You think that's this doll's name? Maybe? This thing is creepy. Wonder why it's on the bed. Can I not? Hey, I wonder what this thing is. It says kg on the display. Think maybe it's a scale? Huh? There's some sort of lid on this thing. Why don't you try opening it? Can't, there's no handle. Can't get it under it with my nails either. I give up too easily. Oh, hello. There's some kind of device attached to the bed. It says kg on the panel. Is this a scale? Another medical mannequin? From the looks of this one's a chick. She has a name too. Lucy. Poor thing. Look, Miss Lucy only has a head and a left arm. Maybe we're supposed to gather all her parts? These for surgery, right? Let's see. Syringes, cups, a plate, sort of scissorish thing. Those scissors? They look kind of funny. Now that's probably a pair of contra forceps. Surgeons use them during operations. They can hold blood vessels shut and keep tissues out of the way. They can use it to pull stuff out of small holes or something like that. Interesting. What's this thing? It's got these short iron legs. Maybe it's a heater? Nothing inside of it. Big chest. Ew, that's gross. That's the chest. The woman's chest. Heart's gone, but it's pretty hot. That's that kind of thing turns you on 7, you're a real creepo. I actually thought he meant it was like warm. God damn it. Maybe we're supposed to heat something like that gauze to kill the bacteria? There's a boiling thingy over here. There's nothing on the lid or in the drawers. A lot of different kinds of medication. Hard to tell them apart. Drawer's empty. Yeah, nothing there. A whole bunch of different bottles on the shelves. They all look like medicine. They've got labels, but they're all big medical robes that I don't understand. Come on, Jumpy. Medical mannequin with his guts showing. Ew, gross. Hey, Junpei. There's a slit in this thing's chest. Yeah, sure is. Something in here. Maybe we can get it out. Damn it, stinking thing won't budge. It's stuck. Well, I guess you can't force on this one then. We need something small that can fit into that little hole. Easy. So we took the organ thingy out of the chest thingy. It's a lung, not an orphan thingy. Organ thingy. Huh? This part in the back. It's all rubbery. You're right. The fake organ. Of course it'd be. Wait, what's 7 grabbing it for? Yeah, it feels like there's something in here. You think we can cut through the rubber part? Part of the back of it will feel like something inside. If we can cut the thing open, we should be able to get whatever in there. My scissors are gone, so that's nice. A lot of surgery stuff. Some scalpels, a few pair of forceps, and a couple of syringes. All of it's too rusty to be useful though. Hey, there's a scalpel here that looks new. Lit. Let's try cutting this organ with a scalpel. Organ key. There's a key in this organ. Found a key in an internal organ. Is this a saw? Awesome, it's unlocked. Something stinks. Is it coming from this bottle? It says NH3. That's nitrogen nitrogen trihydride, I think. I don't fucking remember. Of course it stinks. It's ammonia. Oh, it's ammonia. Fucking Christ. I knew it was a thing. It's now on top of the table. Iron 1, salt 2, water 3. Carbon dioxide, ammonia, and ethanol, I don't remember what ethanol is. It's something OH. I don't remember. It's something and then a number H something OH. I just don't remember what the. Oh no, it's C. It's C something H something OH. It probably doesn't matter, but... Well, why don't you try pouring somewhere out into the cap? Can't see any reason why not. What's that? It's bright blue. Do you think it's alien blood? Where the hell did that come from? What do you think it is, Seven? I don't know, some sort of special bath soap? Ugh, what a boring guess. Does it say anything? Blue liquid. Red liquid. Looks like there's something inside that bottle. Why don't you try pouring some of it into the cap? Yeah, it's red. Yeah. Now blood's thicker than that. Beats me. Box is locked. Looks like you have to enter a passcode on the keypad to open it. You can only enter 3 numbers. E is for enter, C is clear. Once you input the number, press E. If you mess up, press C. Let's give it a shot. No? I don't know, dude. What's this? Looks like a can with a spray nozzle. It says CO2. It's the can filled with carbon dioxide. Thought that'd be useful. Hey, Junpei, there's dihydrogen monoxide on the shelf. Why did you just say water? Hey, come on, man. Don't you know that dihydrogen monoxide literally kills everyone who has it? Oh, good stuff. Let's go for a drink. What are you talking about? I'm talking about that bottle. It says C2H5OH. There, see, there you go, guys. There's the ethanol. It's ethanol. That's right. It's also known as ethyl alcohol. It's pretty much what booze is made of. So you're gonna drink it? Nah, I won't. You might say that's what it is in the label, but there could be anything in there. Hey, Junpei, you think there are any slugs in this ship? Huh? Well, if there are, I think we could put salt on them. What's she pointing at? The label states NaCl. Salt, huh? You think 7 would shrivel up if we put it on him? Hey, you say something? There is iron powder. How do you know it's iron? The label says Fe. Fe stands for iron, right? We're selling your chamber. Where do people mix medicine on this thing? Okay, wait, so... Alright, see you, Sat. Have a good one, dude. So, 1, 2, and 3. Iron was here. Salt was... Salt was... Oh, salt was in the lower one, wasn't it? And then this was the water. Wait, this was salt. Yeah. This is 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna say 4 and then 5, 6. Still not. You can only put 3 numbers in though. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So 4, 5, 6. I don't see how this is gonna help me though. I guess I put it in that. I guess I put it in that order. Oh, I cleared it. No, I have no idea. I'm gonna come back. Okay, where are you going? That's the door we came through. The only thing out there is the numbered door. I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you that numbered door is a one-way deal. So you're saying there's no point in going back there, huh? And they're not. Awesome. It's locked. But... oh, wait. Cool, it's unlocked. You think you can hang your coat here? There's a bunch of hooks. see, huh? It's paper. What's this? Is this some kind of medical record? New material has been added to the file screen. What? Medical record found in the preparation room. There's records for the 2 mannequins. Is it available? Oh, jeez. Oh, son of a bitch. We're gonna have to take parts. I think we're gonna have to take parts from... We're gonna have to take parts from John and throw it on Lucy's to match the total weight. No, because I think we have to have the total weight for both of them. Has to be correct. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. Damn, it's not opening. Locked, of course. Blue plate in here seems a little suspicious, though. It won't open. So look, it's locked. There's red plate on it. Do you think that means anything? Damn, it's not opening. It won't even budge. Got this purple plate on it, too. Have anything like that? Put the blue liquid in it, dude. Sink. Doctors and nurses probably wash their hands here before an operation. Nothing suspicious here. There are 4 different lights, each one a different color. White, red, blue, and purple. Does this thing react to something and then the lights light up? Oh my god, what? Put in the red liquid next. That means the blue liquid is going back in the bottle for now. Hey, it turned red. Forget about that. Didn't you hear that just now? Oh, lit. The right foot of the medical mannequin. Guess it's a woman's foot, but damn, doesn't look hot at all. Got a thing for feet, 7? No, that's crazy. You sure acting kind of shady. And we want to put the blue liquid in here. Do the same thing. It's blue now. I think I heard another noise. Left foot of mannequin. Do you think I'm better? What? Do you think my legs are skinnier? Here, what if I combine the two now? Think it'll let me? Oh, huh? Red and blue does make purple, though. There we go. It'll actually let me put them both together. I get it. You combine the red liquid and the blue liquid to make a purple one. Good job, Jinpei. Purple light came on. I heard it unlock. I'm sure it's unlocked. The locker with the purple plate has got to be unlocked. Alright, let's see what happened. We split the bottles now. No. Be funny. Big stomach is a really big nose. It's no nose. It's stomach. Oh, a stomach. It's locked. It won't even budge. I think this is the exit? Locked, won't open. There's a single symbol engraved over the keyhole. Hey, this is a Jupiter symbol. Hey, wasn't this Jupiter symbol engraved by the keyhole in the other door? Other door? Door at the end of the hallway with all those rooms. You think maybe this door and that door use the same key? Maybe? What's this? A light switch? Doesn't seem to be working. White cloth. Let me over there, please. That doesn't look very comfortable. Old hard bed. Lucy's head and left arm are sitting on the bed. Maybe something will happen when we gather all of her body parts. Okay, that's... I pretty much just need the arm. Whoa, wait, what? So there's 3 endings, I guess? Or are we really? We made quite a bit of progress, holy moly. I would say not quite halfway. I think once I get to this section, I'd be halfway, I'd say. I do know there's more than 3 endings, I think. Never mind, I thought this closed off. This goes down here, though, which does not go here. So if you go here, you're locked there. But if you go into either one of these, you can continue on. Interesting. Why can't I combine these? Can I combine them in here? Hey, that ain't a drum, kid. Can't combine. Maybe I need all the parts before I can start doing anything? I think that's weird, but Dawn is just lying there. Operating table. Do you think old operating tables look like this? I have no idea. I'll try and... Where haven't I looked? It's probably gonna be in that... I'm so stupid. It's gotta be in the chemical room. But I don't understand what's going on with this puzzle. Oh, wait. Wait. Because water has 3 atoms, salt has 2 atoms, and iron has 1 atom. So carbon dioxide has 3 atoms, ammonia has 4 atoms, and ethanol has a lot of fucking atoms. It was C2H5OH. 2, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 9. 3, 4, 9 maybe? Yo, lit. Something in the box. Fake heart. A heart. This thing is super creepy. This ain't good for a heart. It's right on the body. It's kind of creepy. Can I combine these now? No. Well, I have all the parts now.
Do you think we should go back?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Silver nodded and left. Junpei was about to follow her when he realized that Seven wasn't following suit.
Hey, Seven, what's up?
Oh, well...
He looked up at Junpei distractedly, and then back down at the brown bottle he held cupped in his large hands.
Is that a medicine bottle?
I got curious about it. Here.
In response, Seven tossed the bottle gently to Junpei. He caught it and twisted it around to read the label.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
Yeah, that's right. See,
What kind of medicine is that?
it's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent.
Why would they have something like that here?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Clean what up?
Fuck if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
Did you drink it, you fuck?
You remember something?
Yeah. Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before.
Hey, Casey.
But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals, called a hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory. They'd been making crystals the same way, with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate. In a fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. But after it happened at the first factory, it just spread. It was like, man, how do you say it?
You mean like it was infected with a virus or something?
Seven shook his head.
Not like that. It spread like wildfire. It showed up in labs that were completely isolated from the rest of the world. It even started happening to crystals that were completely sealed up. It doesn't seem like it could have been a result of this stuff coming in contact with other samples.
Then?
Well, I guess it was some sort of information. Like, the crystals were transmitting this information all across the world somehow.
What information?
How to make a new crystal. Someone had to tell the stuff how to do it, right? Like he just whispered to the EDT in the tank, hey, if you do this, you can take in water molecules.
Come on, man, that's just... I mean, who is this someone anyway?
Someone you can't see. Someone who exists all over the world.
You mean... like a god?
Or maybe the devil.
Seven grinned. As Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Gee.
Seven looked at Junpei.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
With that cryptic remark, he turned and left the room. Junpei was left behind to ponder what he'd just heard.
Information being transmitted invisibly. Could such a thing really happen? Well, thinking about that crap isn't going to help me right now. We need to figure out how the hell to get out of here first.
Took a deep breath, tried to clear his mind, and followed after Seven. Okay, so we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin. So the ones we've got must be for Lucy, right? Yeah, seems like it. Well, I say we give Lucy her parts back. Any objections? Nope, agreed. Alright, let's get started. Combine. There's gonna be something wrong. Hey, nothing happened. That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong weight? Wait? Well, yeah, well, you know how there's a scale on the side of the bed? Maybe we need to get the scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's. Oh, let's give it a shot. Operating instructions. The screen will display 2 medical mannequins. You can switch their body parts by selecting the part you want to switch out. Okay, I need to go... If we knew the weight of each part, we figured it out. Yeah, I don't remember the weight. 53.2, 51.3, and 53 points. That's close. That's so close. There we go. Hey, Junpei, I just heard something. It came from John's operating table. You better check it out. Huh? Lid on the scale. Hey, it opened. Oh, I get it. It must open because we matched John's weight to what's on the chart. Jupiter key. Hey, symbol engraved on that key. Isn't it the Jupiter symbol? Then that means... Yep, let's go. Let's skedaddle, my friends. Oh, no, it's in here.
Hey, hold on.
Junpei stopped, about to put the key into the doorknob.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh?
Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
God damn it. Where the hell did she go? Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Sure thing.
Junpei left Seven at the door and headed back to the operating room. Found her standing next to the operating table. She was staring at the mannequin.
Hey, Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here.
She didn't respond. She hadn't been standing up and breathing. Junpei may have thought she was dead.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John?
It wasn't the best joke, but it was something. An attempt to lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood stock still and said nothing.
Hey, Clover, can you hear me?
Perhaps it was something he'd said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly her mouth opened and she whispered in a dry, dead voice.
My brother might be dead.
Huh?
That's why we couldn't find I'm going to be next.
Suddenly, the operating room felt very, very cold.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. The silence grew
Let's
heavier.
just get out of here. We've got the key. Let's use it. That cool with you?
Yeah.
Clever nodded, almost imperceptibly. Still, Junpei was glad to see she was at least somewhat responsive.
Then it's time to go.
He put his hand on her shoulder and guided her to the preparation room. As they arrived at the door, she suddenly stopped.
I'm sorry.
What was this? Why was she apologizing? Junpei wasn't sure what to make of her. Was she emotionally unstable because her brother had gone missing?
I'm really sorry. Just forget everything I told you, okay? Don't worry about it. Really. I mean it.
How could anyone pretend not to hear something like that? But something told him this wasn't the time to press the issue. Junpei gave her the warmest, kindest smile he could manage.
All right.
Thank you.
The smile was weak. It was almost painful to watch.
Damn, what the hell took you guys so long?
Seven looked up as they walked into the room, clearly
You
irritated.
playing doctor in there or something?
Maybe. Jealous?
Seven avoided answering the question. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key.
All right. I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, alright?
Fine then.
He slid the key into the keyhole and turned it. Felt to unlock. Yeah, boy, you found it. The door opened with a soft, melancholy creak. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. There was no fanfare or confetti. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. They simply walked through the door. That was it.
Let's get going.
Hey man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy, get a little excited?
Not really.
Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway.
My brother might be dead. I'm going to be next.
Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead and she was likely to follow him.
Like hell I can. Not after hearing something like that.
You found it. Yay. They left the operating room. The hallway took them around several corners and past several doors, but they were all locked.
There too, huh? Every door in this place is locked up tight.
How about that one?
The final door was hidden in a corner of the hall.
May as well give it a try.
Junpei grabbed the handle. As he made it to push it open, a voice stopped them. The voice came from behind him and belonged to neither Seven nor Clover.
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. He saw someone running toward him from the other end of the hallway. There were 3 people coming toward Junpei and his companions.
June? And Santa! And Lotus too!
Lotus is still alive? They pulled up short in front of Junpei, breathing hard.
Whoa! What the hell is this?
What are you doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover
Hey
spoke.
guys! Could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd
Look on
found.
the wall here.
There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway.
A map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor then?
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
In fact,
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the nonary game works.
I see.
Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. Hey, could this lead to...
As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness.
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he had seen. Yeah, the door that didn't have a number and was locked leads right to the
We
hospital.
may as well go.
Yeah.
But he moved his one for the door.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
Slowly, all 5 nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. This is to the hospital, right? Pretty sure it is. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
Ah,
Yeah, it was. They were just where the map had said they would
We're
be.
back.
Yeah.
In the hospital room.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying.
Yay, we didn't leave Ace behind. I'm so
The
happy.
6
Ace
of
is
you
like my
split into
favorite
2
character.
teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory, and then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
He looked like anyone might, after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
7 smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need. Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Oh, the solar system keys. We found a couple more in the laboratory and the kitchen. Here, the Earth key and the Saturn key card.
Ooh, key card. With that, she pressed them into Junpei's hand. The metal key had the Earth symbol on it, and the key card had the Saturn symbol on it.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
Yeah. On it.
Junpei felt slightly less than honored.
Now we have 3 keys that we haven't used yet.
Yeah. The Jupiter key that we found in the operating room, the Earth key that Lotus just gave me, and the Saturn key card that Lotus said was in the kitchen.
Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. Just lead us back to the big hospital room.
But there's probably
no
a key
point
in
to
there.
seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking there's probably more more
Snake
solar
might
system
be
keys
on
in
the
there.
other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, Seven, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. 4 plus 1 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Looked like 7 was doing them too. At last he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
So it was decided that Clover, Ace, and Seven would discover what lay beyond door 3.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Seven nodded as if this answer made much more sense and pulled the lever on the red.
Okay, we're off.
The door opened and Ace, Clover, and Seven jumped through it. 6, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused.
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. Twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. This leads us back to the central hall, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, and with a massive central staircase.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm
Keys now.
asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
course there's a reason.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky. Huh? This.
Junpei pulled two things out of his pockets.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key? I'm lost.
Santa cocked his head to one side like an inquisitive bird and looked at them. After several long moments during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, June took pity on him.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it.
Plus there's the
And
Earth key door.
on A deck, on the door, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So the two keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into two teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Then Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief.
We have no idea what's on the other side of these, so don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Plan decided, the two teams split it up. Splitted. Junpei and June headed for the elevators.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great! It looks like it's working now.
All right, now how do I call the elevator?
There was a single button to the right of the elevator door.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait!
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could you possibly still be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of... He was afraid because the only elevator pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized that he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase, all of which meant the lower elevator could only convey them to the lower decks.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened.
We'll just send it down, and then...
Yeah, exactly.
When it gets down, it'll open. If there's water, when you send it back up, it'll have water in it.
So, take a look and...
Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right. They are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Test it?
Yeah, watch this.
Oh, is Junpei gonna do exactly the thing I said it to?
Put inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two, E and C. All right, I'll push E.
Pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
I think I can hear it opening on E deck.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
A few moments later, the elevator returned.
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen. See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
Pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched out a rough illustration. What?
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket.
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright?
But...
Come on, just do it, alright?
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped onto the elevator. He pushed the E button and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision, when suddenly...
I'm coming with you!
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors.
Hey, wait!
Junpei slammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late.
Oh, crap. It closed!
The door had shut, he and June were in the elevator, and he was headed down to E-Deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on E-Deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Jeez. The elevator stopped and the door slid open. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
No fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish, or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out and her mouth a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then sailed.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Junpei thought about that for a moment.
We'd probably die.
Oh no. Don't be so casual about something like that.
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Okay, good idea.
Now then.
Junpei glanced around the room they'd found themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran around the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then maybe...
In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner.
It looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint.
I knew
6.
it!
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall right next to the door.
But we can't do anything with only the two of us.
We better head back and let everyone know.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C-Deck.
Wait, what's this?
On their way back, Junpei noticed a map on the wall.
Is this the map for E-Deck? I should take it with me.
Yeah.
Huh, so you guys found door 1.
They'd met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently there was another numbered door in A-Deck, just like the one on E-Deck, beyond the door that the Earth Key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought. Sorry.
Well, we don't really know if... We only checked the area around the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
And that means Zero planned all this out. Even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
While that does go along with what Ace was saying, the most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa crackled a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large pleading
Yeah,
eyes.
you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
8 plus 6 plus 5 equals 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus
Just
0 equals
kidding.
1.
Alright, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was 7.
7?
Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. Seven had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out in time. For a long moment, they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. Looked at Seven.
What the hell kind of question is that?
Seven was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard. They probably found Snake. His shoulders were trembling and his voice was strained.
Snake is...
Seven couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by. Junpei wasn't sure what. Junpei. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead. He died, just as the 9th man did.
It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heart quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All three were frozen in place, their faces white.
That's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right.
They nodded to one another and headed for the numbered 3 door.
Wait! Not that way!
What? Why not?
They stopped short and turned to look at Seven. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
The shower room. Left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
Well, that means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Their new destination cleared, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the
This
left
wasn't
wall.
open when we passed here before.
But now, just as Seven had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. Gross? It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach. Descriptions are fucked. He put his hand over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
Snake? Snake? Yay! They didn't have to wonder where the body was. There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching toward them as they walked into the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a
June,
divider.
you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on his shoulder, as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, turned and walked toward the end of the divider.
I'm going in.
Felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually they reached the divider. Looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh, torn from the body, sat in the blood like tiny islands in the Great Red Sea. A vast ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out like a fresh spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall, and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of the yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it.
Just like Ace said.
Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the 9th man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite
Oh
powerful.
god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
His legs had been both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone on his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coated almost made it look like a raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks.
But the clothes are...
They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and
It's
continued.
pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it. Alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door, and then 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake.
So who does that leave? Who could have possibly opened the door then? 3 plus what would give you 3? 3 plus 10, because you need 3. No. 3 plus 9, because you need 12. So that would mean 5 and 4. But it's obviously not Junpei or June. That leaves out Junpei and June, so it couldn't have been those two. But then there's 3 and 6. So that's Santa and... Who's 6? Lotus? I think Lotus is 6. I could see it being Santa and Lotus. I think that's it. That's... Or 1 and 8. It could have been Ace and... I honestly don't know who the hell's who.
Open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah.
No! June 6, not 4. I'm dumb. It couldn't have been Clover or Junpei. It could have been Santa and June.
That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner. And those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes, that is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another. and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
So Lotus is 8. I think I have
Yes.
everybody's number figured.
Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei hadn't really considered
If
that.
Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Junpei. Was Zero still on the ship with them? He wasn't sure.
Something's still strange. Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Ace's eyebrows
Really,
shut up.
Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp. Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
Zero said, "this ship," several times when he addressed us. If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he? He'd be saying something like, that ship, or the ship.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Ace's explanation made perfect sense. Junpei felt a little foolish that he hadn't seen it himself. Still, he was left with a question, and it was one of no
If
small
Zero's
importance.
on the ship, where is he?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. Silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. Moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustle of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Was he one of them?
That's crazy. Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
Clover looked up at Junpei, and her face fell.
Don't believe me.
Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei's met him, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think what he said was wrong, but perhaps the way he'd said it had been. He'd been too insensitive. Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she'd also seen the blasted wreck of his body. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable that she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. He felt ashamed of what he'd said. Perhaps he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin...
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Ace had beaten Junpei to the punch. As he spoke to Clover, his face was calm and friendly.
You have to understand. The more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time her eyes were on Junpei's. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. They were the color of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Then, in that horrible silence... 4 hours left. They heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
3 hours left? We skipped 2 hours? Holy
Then we
shit.
need to move now. 7. Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
7 and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were
Our
going.
next destination is Mercury.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
All right, let's go, June.
Right. Here it is.
Sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen, between the two elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
I don't remember him giving us this.
Yeah,
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think 7 said something like
Okay,
that.
no, we
anyway,
didn't.
let's see what happens.
It didn't happen. Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light in the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the two of us, but let's do our best.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck.
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Oh, first we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
It's gonna make me sad because I just have like this really bad suspicion that June is not a
I
good...
knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
She's gonna end up being bad. That makes me sad. I hope I'm wrong.
Look, nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly began to move downward.
So this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway to the right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
Over there.
2.
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room, doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck. It was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1. Now door 2 stood in front of
That
Junpei.
means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
Did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
Pieces of paper they folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on a paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why they decided to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper.
All right, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
He opened the second
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
one. Junpei considered with the third, fourth, and fifth pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
Lotus's hair flared
not
like the
good.
mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the sixth piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes. I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
The door in A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
This is the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
The door at E deck. It could be reached by taking the elevator to the central staircase down. Okay. I think this makes it so I can take any door at this point. Ace and Clover, so that's 1 and 6. 1 and 4, so that's 5. Yeah, so I can do that. 7 and Lotus, so that's 7 and 8. That's 15. 20 is 2, yep. And then Santa and June is 3 and 6 is 9 plus 4. I can't go with June. Of course. It's the only one I can't go
The
into.
door I should choose is...
Took him less than a second to run the numbers. He'd open the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
I can't go through door 6. It doesn't work out like that.
My choice is door 1.
Santa was unconvinced.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. As they did, Junpei quickly slid the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never known it, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched the papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
For doors 1, 2, and
And
6.
I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last. After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted. If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out. Well, what does it say?
Fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated.
Very well. We've decided who will go through door 1. It will be Clover, Junpei, and myself.
1 plus 4 plus 5 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1.
Our only problem is the 2 remaining teams.
June and I want door 6.
Lotus and I want door 2.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people. Oh,
Fine. 7, we'll go through door 6.
Sure thing. I didn't really want to go through door 2.
Oh, I could have made it work anyway. Fuck, I'm stupid.
Besides, if we've got a younger girl with us, it'll lower the average age. Right, June?
well, I
June was at a loss for words. Lotus was not.
Pig. You just wait and see.
Her eyes were the eyes of a woman prepared to kill. A shiver ran down Junpei's spine.
Calling me old. This is why men are such a pain in the ass. They're about as subtle as a brick.
And they're at it again.
Oh well, I like to hang out with Ace. Even after they separated at the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself.
I'll see you later, June.
jumpy.
Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again. This time it didn't sting quite so much.
Don't make that face. It'll be like what 7 said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the notary game works.
Seven's words took a weight off of Junpei's shoulders and felt much better.
It'll be fine. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Lingering uneasy remained, but they went their separate directions without much trouble. Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed toward A deck.
Here's A deck.
That should be it, yes.
Here we go. It's just as Santa and Lotus said.
At the end of the hallway sat a door with a large red 1 upon it.
Numbered door.
The left of it, bolted to the wall, was the red.
There's the red. I'll go first.
Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel.
Now the 2 of you, if you would.
Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned toward the scanner panel. The third asterisk clicked to life, shining brightly. Ace took a hold of the lever.
Now,
Took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready? Shall I pull it?
Yeah, anytime.
Clover said nothing. She nodded, little more than a lethargic twitch of the head.
Very well, then. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
And it's open! Move!
They stumbled into the room.
Where is it?
Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. His eyes stopped on the device that would determine whether they lived or died.
There it is! Over there!
Next to the door they'd come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it.
It stopped.
Yes, it did.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Ace and Clover were breathing hard and fast.
I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
I agree.
Now then. Ace's voice actor's good. I like him. Junpei looked around again, this time more slowly.
There's another door. Let's try opening it.
Took hold of the knob and easily, gently pulled it open.
So, this is the wheelhouse?
Closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. Fixed each in turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke.
Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door.
Very well.
Clover, you're in charge of this room. Say something.
Okay, I will.
All right then, let's get started.
Okay. Seek a way out. Okay. Well, I have not saved in a really long time. Oh, so there's another branch. There's still another branch after this. But it does not meet up with that one. I don't know which branch is which. The very rightmost branch looks strange. I assume the middle branch is the best branch, just because it goes on for the longest. I've not saved in so long. This is so scary. I should have not left it this long. Alright, that's going to be it for me tonight. I've been streaming for about 3 to 4 hours-ish. I actually don't know how long I've been streaming, because